Here or in there?
Me too.
I don't know.
You calling it to order?
We ready? Yeah.
It's time. We're 2 minutes overdue.
Okay, you're on.
Hey, good afternoon. I'd like to call a special legislative meeting to order. Would everybody please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Samuelson.
Here.
Mr. Benson.
Here.
Mrs. Labuda. Miss Vedder. Mr. Ruiz.
Here.
Mrs. Geiger.
Here.
Mrs. Edwards. Here. Mr. Steingart.
Here.
Mr. Sorensen.
Veteran.
Veteran.
A veteran.
I already did that today.
A veteran.
Okay, please read the meeting notice.
There will be a special meeting of the legislature for Thursday, May 23rd, 2013 at 4:45 p.m. in the Legislative Committee Room, Sullivan County Government Center, 100 North Street, Monticello, New York, 12701. The purpose of the meeting is to enact the Sullivan County Ethics Law.
Thank you. We have a resolution on the agenda. Number one, to enact the Sullivan County Ethics Law. Motion.
I'll move it.
Second, Cindy. Discussion.
Yes. As far as the ethics law, I just wanted to point out a concern that I have. We received a memorandum on May 14th regarding the ethics law, and on page 21 in the document, the subpoena power of the Board of Ethics had been removed. And it was based on a conversation that took place, which pointed to a 1976 opinion of the New York State Attorney General, which said that we could not grant subpoena power to the new Board of Ethics. I subsequently asked for an opinion from legal, and it was found that such power could be granted to the new Board of Ethics. So as far as subpoena power of the Board of Ethics, I feel that removing that power kind of takes the teeth out of the law. We worked on this law for a long time. I did look up how other municipalities worked on their ethics law, and many of them had subpoena power. Some did not have subpoena power, and we're putting subpoena power back in. My thought is, when you have a board that's responsible to investigate or review any accusations of misconduct according to the ethics law and recommend the penalty for the violation, if they're not able to get the information they need, this could be a problem without the power to subpoena witnesses. So, my feeling is today, and if the ethics law is passed and the legislature has a consensus to give the new Board of Ethics subpoena power, we can then amend the ethics law in June or July to add the subpoena power. I feel it's important for the ethics board to be just a board that makes a recommendation that doesn't have the information. I read a case where in a county upstate there was a violation. The ethics board tried to get the information to validate that accusation and was not able to do it because they didn't have the power to subpoena the information, and so thus it was dismissed. So I feel the law needs teeth. We need to give the board members the power to be able to subpoena the information.
Okay. Kitty?
I am in total agreement with what Cindy has to say. When I've looked at various documents, including Maple Leaf Web talking about ethics law and government concepts, issues, and debate, one of the major pieces in the debate has to do with who is going to be in that and what kind of powers do they have. I really feel that it's very important that we pass this ethics law. I appreciate all the work that the various people who have worked on it, including the judges that gave us advice in the past, and the county attorney's office. My problem was that sometimes you'd get one statement, and the next week it'd be retracted and you'd get another statement, especially regarding the subpoena power and the teeth of the law. To pass an ethics law without giving it teeth, I think is a futile thing, so I look forward to passing the law, knowing that we can make resolutions in 60 days, and I would strongly recommend the resolution that I would be putting forth would be subpoena power to the board that was going to come forth.
Kathy?
I wish Cheryl was here. Sam, would you refresh my memory as to why we took that out? 'Cause we-
I sent all the members of the board a copy of an email that I sent to Legislator Geiger this morning. I was not at your executive session when this was originally discussed. What I'm informed is, and your memory will have to suffice, that during that meeting, one of the attorneys from Mr. Romer's office stated that in doing some background research on the issue of dealing with the unions, et cetera, in terms of the ethics law, she had uncovered this 1976 opinion from the Attorney General's office. I am told that at the time, she said that she thought further research would have to be done, that it was not the last word, and that there was a discussion then at your meeting then about removing those 5 words from the draft that then existed. Legislator Geiger earlier this week asked me to do that additional research, which we had not been involved in that aspect of the ethics law up to that point. Legislator Geiger asked that we do the additional research. Cheryl has found at least 2 cases that discuss challenges to subpoenas issued by boards of ethics in other jurisdictions, and the courts upheld those subpoenas having been issued by those boards of ethics. So it is apparent that a board of ethics can be given subpoena power. There was a discussion in one of the cases about whether it could be used for investigative purposes as opposed to adjudicatory purposes, and you'll notice in my memo this morning I said that I really wanted to look a little further at the mechanism. But the bottom line is, if the board wants to put a subpoena power back into the ethics law, since this law will not become effective for 60 days because of the permissive referendum requirement, if you were to vote to amend the law either during June or July, you could have the subpoena provision become effective on the same day the law becomes effective, so that when the day that the law becomes effective, it will have the subpoena power already built into it. And if that's the pleasure of the board, we'll draft the appropriate language for you to make sure that happens.
That's fine, so we don't need another public hearing to make
You would need a
amendments to
public
this?
hearing on an amendment. You would just set a public hearing, you do it the way you do with almost any local law, because it takes a local law to amend a local law.
Okay.
But we would do it during the period while we're waiting to see if there's a petition for permissive referendum. And we would write it that the amendment would become effective on the day that this local law becomes effective. So the
That's
two of
fine.
them would marry up on that day.
Yeah. I just want one last comment, is I'd like to do my own research, because I thought that as a body, we all decided, we all agreed at the time that Romer's office was here, that it was fine to take that language out because of the union, correct? So
No, that was
That's
actually,
not how
that
it
was
was
beyond the union issue.
Yeah.
That was a,
It
it
was
was
beyond-
a legal
Beyond
issue that,
Research, yeah.
Yeah.
And in rereading that 76 opinion, I don't know where the Attorney General came up with it from.
The union issue was resolved, it had nothing to do with this.
He made a bold statement.
okay, do we need to do anything in particular?
No.
No.
We just vote for this, and then in the next
Amend it.
60 days,
Today's vote, if you vote to enact the ethics law, will start that 60-day clock
Correct.
running. Right. And you have that 60 days within which you have a number of other things to do. You got a board to appoint, you have the resolutions about who is covered, so all those things will take place in that 60 days.
I just have one more
Cindy.
quick comment. There was another part of the law that Sam and I had discussed this morning. If the ethics board reviews and investigates a violation against someone, and it's found to be a criminal offense, currently right now, the recommendation of the ethics board goes to the appointing authority, correct?
Well, no, If
It's criminal, it would go to police.
If it
But
was
it-
criminal, it
the
would
law
go.
doesn't state that, so this was.
Doesn't
If,
have
wanted
to.
clarify
if the Board of
that.
Ethics has a recommendation for disciplining or terminating or something of that, that kind of recommendation would have to go to the appointing authority.
Right.
If the Board of Ethics uncovers something that it believed might be criminal, that would go to the district attorney.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the
Straight away.
law states that? Is there
Law
any?
doesn't state that.
That's the law.
That is,
That's the state
But
law.
if the ethics board uncovers something that's criminal,
that's what they.
does the law have to specify if they're required? Josh asked the question
Sorensen
earlier.
in.
Are they compelled to pass it to the DA or required?
I'm not sure there's a difference between those two terms, but as a matter of law, if.
It would kind of be unethical if they didn't.
If.
Well, I'm saying our law does not specify.
It doesn't have to,
2
because
minutes,
state law
2
says they
minutes.
have
The-
to.
We got
the
2
board-
minutes left.
The board's recommendation goes to the appointing authority. Is the appointing authority required, based on their recommendation, that it go to law enforcement?
If you want those kind of changes made, we can do that as amendments as well. If it's a-
Am I overstepping, or does that make sense, what I'm saying?
If the Board of Ethics thinks that something criminal has been done, they would naturally refer it to the district attorney. I don't think you have to put anything into an ethics law that mandates them to do
But
that.
I'm thinking it would go to the appointing authority,
No.
who would be required or compelled.
Two different
Two
things.
different things. Two different
Criminal
things.
goes right to law enforcement.
Is
If
it
it's-
that you're worried that it would get buried, is that?
Oh, yeah.
If it's civil, if it's a civil disciplinary action, it goes to the appointing authority. If it's a criminal
1
action, it
minute.
goes to the district attorney. If you want that made clear, by
Yeah, I would
changing
make
language,
that clear,
Yes,
yes.
I will
we
make-
want that made clear.
I will
Call the
draft
question.
language for you
Thank you.
during the
Okay.
60 days.
Thank
We'd like to
you.
call the question. All in favor
Of the local law, the way it's written.
of
Yeah.
the enacting
Yeah.
Sullivan County ethics law as presented? Opposed?
8-1.
With the amendments coming.
That's a separate.
That's a separate
Okay, motion to adjourn?
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Kathy
Okay.
Ford.
Thank you.
8-1, who voted against?
Yes, yes.
Good evening. I think we'd like to get started. Good evening. Welcome to this evening's State of the County Address. I'd like to invite the Sullivan County Veterans Coalition with representatives from Bloomingburg VFW Post 4947, Woodsboro American Legion Post 1266, Liberty American Legion Post 109, and Monticello American Legion Post 73 to come forward and post the colors.
Detail halt. Detail post the colors. Detail forward, march. Column left.
detail, left face, at ease.
Please remain standing as I will now lead us in the pledge of allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, I'd like to invite Sullivan County Legislature Chairman Scott B. Samuelson to the podium to sing our national anthem and then deliver his 2013 State of the County Address.
Would everybody please join me in singing the national anthem? Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you. Before we go on, I would like to ask everybody to join me in a moment of silence for the passing of our former Sheriff, Dan Hogue. Thank you. Good evening. Or is it afternoon? We'll go with evening. Good evening. Welcome to our 2013 State of the County Address. I would like to begin tonight by recognizing my fellow legislators, Vice Chairman Gene Benson, Majority Leader Kathy Labuda, Minority Leader Alan Sorensen, District 3 Legislator Kitty Vetter, District 4 Legislator Jonathan Ruiz, District 5 Legislator Cindy Kerpel-Geiger, District 6 Legislator Cara Edwards, and District 8 Legislator Ira Steingart. I would also like to acknowledge and to recognize Acting County Manager Joshua Potosik. I would also like to acknowledge here today with us Supreme Court Judge Stephen Schick, County DA Jim Farrell, Liberty Supervisor Charlie Barbuti, representing Aileen Gunther's office, the Assemblywoman's office, we have Allison Haran. I would also like to send out a special welcome to the new president of our college, Dr. Karen Hilgerson, County Clerk Dan Briggs, Deputy County Treasurer Nancy Buck here for the Treasurer, and also the Undersheriff Eric Chaboti. All of our department heads and staff, I would like to thank you as well for being here. I would also like to offer a special thank you to the Veterans Coalition with representatives from the Bloomingburg VFW Post 4947, the American Legion Post 73 of Monticello, the American Legion Post 109 of Liberty, and the American Legion Post 1266 of Mamakating for providing the color guard. And I would also like to thank the County Sheriff's Office for their ceremonial guard this evening. The county ended 2012 with encouraging news. Sullivan County sales tax revenues had come in more than $1 million greater than what had been anticipated in the 2012 operating budget. This and other cost-saving measures that were implemented resulted in growth in the county's fund balance. This year end result puts the county on the right path to achieving financial stability. While we welcome this news, it was tempered by the fact that the county's unemployment rate in January of 2013 was above 11%, and our property owners are struggling more and more every year to pay their tax bills. We must find means to alleviate that burden. Make no mistake, we will continue to seek means of streamlining county operations and generate savings wherever possible. However, the only real option we have to provide substantial and lasting relief is to identify and solicit new revenue-generating opportunities. Events that occurred earlier this week at Catskill Regional Medical Center, and our sympathies go out to all those affected, only serve to highlight the fact that we need to keep our focus on the creation of quality private sector job opportunities for our residents, and this legislature has an obligation to deliver results. We must diversify our portfolio of businesses and jobs, balance our quality of life and standard of living while protecting the many cherished assets throughout our county. Mr. Liblick, would you please turn off your cell phone? Thank you so much. Sustainable economic development must be the #1 priority of the Sullivan County Legislature if we are to continue to survive and ultimately thrive in the county. The former Economic Development Corporation was created by my colleague Jonathan Ruiz to bring economic entities under one roof and foster collaboration among those agencies. While the EDC was stalled, an informal gathering of private sector members was maintained to continue relevant discussions of how to move forward once our plans and goals for economic development have been identified and implemented. Moving forward, the goal of bringing all economic development entities under one roof in an environment that fosters cooperation, communication is now taking shape. After some initial discussions and potentially located at the site of the Apollo Plaza, an economic development one-stop would bring our Visitors Association, Partnership for Economic Development, the Workforce Development, the Industrial Development Agency, all together in tandem with our county planning department. They will work toward a common goal, sharing knowledge and resources, and collectively welcoming businesses into the county. This will help develop the economic future of Sullivan County and strengthen our position in the Mid-Hudson region. Coupled with a visitor center at the site of the Apollo Plaza location, the one-stop would serve as a welcome center for those visiting Sullivan County for both business and pleasure, and with easy on and off at the access at the base of the Apollo entry. As you may be aware, the site of the former Apollo Plaza was utilized this spring as a location for the filming of the movie Jamie Marks is Dead. We should encourage and welcome the film industry into the county. And the legislature was more than happy to grant permission for this group to film scenes for their movie on the East Broadway property. However, the site's selection by the producers to be featured in a quasi-horror film is a testament to the eyesore that this Sullivan County icon has become. Through the efforts of the Resnick Group, in cooperation with the legislature and the Sullivan County Funding Corporation, we are eagerly anticipating the start of a new chapter for this property, the creation of an attractive, viable shopping hub and sales tax generator at the very crossroads and gateway of Sullivan County. Plans for the redevelopment of the Concord property continue to move forward. This project is expected to provide 1,200 construction jobs and at full build-out, 1,000 permanent jobs. Beyond that, it brings the hope of much more, and it represents the vast untapped potential of Sullivan County. A project of this magnitude can provide the catalyst needed for the redevelopment of our main streets that will have people on them all year long. It will feed and be fed by our existing tourism attractions, such as Bethel Woods, the Monticello Motor Club, the Delaware River, the Scenic Byway, our growing restaurant industry, and our arts and entertainment centers. The redevelopment of the Concord property is not a silver bullet to cure all that ails Sullivan County, but rather it provides a much-needed boost toward economic growth. The legislature and the Industrial Development Agency are finishing up the process of reviewing the uniform policies of the IDA to determine what revisions, if any, are necessary to protect our municipalities while still encouraging economic development. IDA staff, including Chairman Ira Steingart, has been meeting with representatives of our towns, villages, and the public to gain insight and feedback on how the IDA can better assist our local officials and the people they represent. It is imperative that we provide for a business environment that is attractive to newcomers and encourages retention and expansion for our existing businesses. The retention of existing businesses and employers is a foundation that must be supported in any successful economic development model. In 2012, we were thrilled to learn that as part of the $92.8 million awarded to the Mid-Hudson region through Governor Cuomo's New York Works for Business initiative, Sullivan County's largest employer, the Center for Discovery, will receive $2.5 million for the development of a regional children's assessment center. This will expand the center's capabilities through the creation of an assessment center and integrated specialty hospital for children within the autism spectrum with severe developmental disabilities and medical complexities. The Center for Discovery is already a respected world-class organization, and the addition of this new unit will only add to that glowing reputation. And the center is not the only world-class facility planning to expand in Sullivan County. It was recently announced that Bethelwood Center for the Arts will be adding a conservatory to their repertoire. This facility will provide a space to hold cultural workshops and bring music and arts into the lives of our residents, beginning with our youth. Expanding as well is the Monticello Motor Club, who has announced a planned expansion of their world-class facility in the town of Thompson. These entities provide clear examples of how a business can not merely succeed, but thrive in Sullivan County. A skilled and educated workforce is needed to support any future growth in our local industries. We must encourage extensive and ongoing communication between our educational entities that will foster creative ways to maximize our potential. Our local educational partners must be engaged and keep our youth here at home as these jobs are created. The 8 school districts of Sullivan County, BOCES, the Sullivan County Community College, and Cornell Cooperative Extension are our educational partners who will all play a vital role in the development of our workforce. Some very exciting news, I mentioned already. Sullivan County Community College has welcomed a new president, Dr. Karim Hilgerson. Dr. Hilgerson has taken the reins from interim president Dr. Murabito, who did a remarkable job guiding the college through a time of great change. I am personally impressed with the wisdom and enthusiasm that Dr. Hilgerson brings to her post with the college. Combined with a board that is truly working for their students, I have complete confidence that SUNY Sullivan has a bright future to look forward to. Cornell Cooperative Extension has also welcomed a new executive director in Greg Sandor. Greg brings with him a multitude of ideas, a willingness to partner and be part of solutions, and the energy required to be effective. At Greg's urging, myself and some other county legislators recently participated in a trip to the main campus to see firsthand some of the Cornell's exciting initiatives. With a mission that emphasizes consumer education and assistance to local farms, Cornell Cooperative Extension remains a vital partner of Sullivan County. Agriculture in Sullivan County continues to play a key role in our economy, as well as continuing the quality of life as we have grown accustomed to. Successful agribusinesses help preserve the open space and farmlands our communities are known for and our residents expect. In trying to capitalize on our long history of agriculture, the county has dedicated resources to explore and encourage the development of a local/regional food hub. We also continue to push forward with projects aimed at making our local farms more profitable, such as the red meat processing facility and a dairy processing plant. These facilities will provide local opportunity for Sullivan County farmers to add value to their products and keep the long-standing tradition of farming going strong for generations to come. The legislature must ensure that our infrastructure meets the needs of a growing economy and tax base if we wish to see real progress in the county. Our highways are in need of significant repairs, and we intend to address this situation. Recently, we agreed to bond for $3.5 million, which will be utilized for repair and paving projects on our county highways. Not only are these projects necessary to support our economy, they are also necessary to ensure our residents and visitors having an adequate system of roads for safe travel. In 2012, we faced a natural disaster of epic proportions when Superstorm Sandy hit the Northeast and devastated our communities. I would like to recognize the efforts of all those involved in the recovery efforts in the days and weeks following the storm. Richard Martikovic, Commissioner of Public Safety, did an extraordinary job in coordinating the efforts of our emergency responders from our Emergency Operations Center. With unwavering support from Public Works Chair Kathy Labuda, Ed McAndrew, Deputy Commissioner of Public Works, has played a crucial role in leading his division for the past several months and should be commended for his work and the work of his staff during the post-Sandy recovery, as they cut and removed debris from the roadways and restored access to residences and businesses alike. I would also like to recognize our Sheriff's Department and all local law enforcement agencies for keeping us all safe and secure during that trying time. It is efforts such as these that give us the confidence needed to face and overcome adversity, regardless of the extent of the obstacles we may be confronted with. During that historic event, communication amongst our emergency responders was critical to ensure our residents were getting the necessary assistance that they required. Our public safety radio infrastructure is in dire need of improvements, and recognizing the necessity of this project, the legislature has voted to bond for the funds needed to move forward with a system upgrade that will have the capacity to be the solution for the next few decades. Enabling law enforcement to communicate directly with our firemen, EMTs, and other emergency responders will improve our ability to respond during future events. In addition to repairs and upgrades to our existing infrastructure, it is imperative that we seek avenues to provide modern amenities to those living, working, and vacationing in Sullivan County. Broadband is a resource to which access must be expanded if we are to be competitive in the 21st century. More and more broadband is becoming less of a luxury and more of a necessity for businesses, education, and everyday life. This legislature will continue to seek cost-effective means of expanding broadband infrastructure to our constituents with the hopes that everyone has an opportunity to be connected and competitive. Legislator Kitty Vedder never misses an opportunity to draw attention to this issue whenever the occasion may arise, and is working diligently with various governmental agencies and fellow legislators to bring this to fruition. The Sullivan County Division of Planning and Environmental Management will play a central role in many of the initiatives that I have mentioned tonight. As you may be aware, the legislature is currently taking a hard look at how the planning department will be structured in the wake of the departure of our planning commissioner. Make no mistake, the planning staff, though small, is comprised of quality professionals who have worked tirelessly to improve our community, whether it be through technical assistance or acquiring grant funding for special projects. We have great expectations and greater confidence in planning's ability to rise to whatever challenges they may encounter as we move forward. Legislator Alan Sorensen, as a planner himself, has been and will continue to be instrumental in moving this department forward in any way that best serves the needs of our economic development goals. The Division of Planning was not the only office to experience significant changes in the past year. The County Manager's Office is currently being guided by Deputy County Manager Joshua Potosek after a very tumultuous start in 2013. Josh has exceeded all expectations of this legislature and staff, and has our respect for the professional manner in which he has handled himself. With a search committee in place and currently reviewing applications, we hope to have a permanent appointment to the position of county manager in the very near future. The Division of Health and Family Services has a new commissioner. Randy Parker came to us from Ohio but has ties to New York State, having previously worked for our neighbor to the north, Delaware County. Working with Health and Family Services Chair Cindy Geiger, Mr. Parker has sought effective means to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse, including the development of a new fraud investigation team. The FIT joins staff of family services with law enforcement agencies and resources to root out those that abuse a system designed to help our most needy. Sullivan County will never turn its back on those in need of assistance, but we refuse to let those that take advantage of the system go unchecked. The men and the women that make up our county workforce, they come to work each and every day, prepared to provide the quality services that our residents and visitors have come to expect. My colleagues and I share a sense of pride at their dedication to serve, educate, and protect Sullivan County residents. We are deeply grateful for that dedication. Negotiations have commenced with various unions which represent our employees, and we are encouraged by the results to date. The Police Benevolent Association, representing the sworn officers of our Sheriff's Department, has already come to an agreement with the county that recognizes the value of our employees while acknowledging that the community is still recovering from the global economic crisis. With cooperation and respect and a little insight from Vice Chairman Gene Benson, I am confident that we will be able to come to similarly amicable agreements with the remaining unions and their representatives. In the coming months, this legislature will be faced with many difficult decisions. Our departments have already begun the task of preparing data and requests to be incorporated into the 2014 operating budget. And department heads are confronting what many could only describe as impossible choices. However, we must stay positive. This weekend, the Memorial Day weekend, is the unofficial beginning of the 2013 summer season in Sullivan County Catskills. With high hopes, hard work, and a little cooperation from the weather, let us look forward to a great success this summer. Let us welcome our visitors with a positive attitude, warm smiles, open arms, and the hospitality that has made this county famous. God bless America. God bless Sullivan County. Thank you. Thank you.
You were marking this one, you still need it?
No.
As long as you got your copy, that's all. Please stay until the color guard is finished.
Color guard?
Gentlemen, you could remove the colors.
If everybody would rise and remain while the colors are removed. All right. Long left.
Detail halt. Retrieve the colors. Forward. March. Follow him left.
Thank you, everybody, and good night.